What's up, you guys? It is PK, and it's been a while since I made an actual video on my channel. And for those that are subscribed and you guys see this pop up, yes, it's me. It's been a very long time. I think 4 years since I actually made a vlog video. I was doing a couple shorts. I think last year as I was doing my marathon journey. But one of the things I did want to do is I have not made a reaction video of my own transformation that I did 7 years ago. I'm 36 now, so this was when I was, actually in my 20s, and it's kind of crazy to think about that time flies so quickly. Obviously, throughout that time, obviously things has happened, but I've been able to manage my weight, been able to accomplish some great things from a fitness journey standpoint. Obviously qualifying for the Boston Marathon, which was one of my long time just goals I wanted to accomplish, and was able to do that. So, throughout this channel, which I am going to revive, kind of talking about that journey, some tips and tricks, but also just from a fitness journey standpoint, I want to obviously use this platform that I was using initially. And, obviously I got some time to actually, I feel, be able to accomplish this and give you guys some content. But I wanted to go ahead and with you guys kind of give you guys some commentary on what I was able to do, where my mind was, why I did what I did. Was I taking certain things, what my routine was, and kind of go from there. And obviously, on this channel, I was vlogging close to every single day, but just to consolidate that, give you guys some of my reaction and genuine reaction on what I was doing during this time period, and that's kind of the goal. So once again, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and check out some of the old content. I still feel like it's still relevant to those that are still trying to accomplish their journey with some of the old content that I did have. But let's go ahead and check out the channel. So kind of go from here, and obviously for me, like I really don't check this out so much. It's been dead for a while, but let's see what we got going. So 2017. And please don't judge on the editing. I know this is back in the day and I didn't really care. So I started off with, obviously I was close to 225, 220, I think 227, ending a relationship. And, I was trying to get my revenge bond. I ain't gonna lie. That was kind of the motivation, during this process. But yeah, when I was doing this, there you go. That's like the beginning stages of it, doing some sprints. And I know I've seen the comments. Some of the forms kind of offered for me was just getting those reps in. Obviously, a lot of these days I was doing 2-a-days. By the way, so I work out in the morning. Close to 5 in the morning, and then I was doing a late night session. We're usually cardio. At this time, obviously I'm more dedicated to running now. But during this time period, I wasn't doing much cardio. I was doing maybe, when I say not too much, I mean 30 minutes to 50 minutes during this time period. Obviously, as I was losing weight and building some stamina, I was, obviously increasing that as I was feeling, stronger, and my endurance was building. I was really heavy on lifting weights during this time period, which now that I'm older, I didn't think it was as necessary to lift as much weight. Over the last couple of years, I've actually been able to maintain muscle by, not, killing myself with doing, trying to do body, actually like body lifting and doing weight lifting as much. I was really conditioned then. I don't think I could jump rope like that, but yeah, I was really conditioned. And, as the first couple months, obviously I was using, I think some of you guys noticed, bodybuilding.com. I was using Chris Geffen's workout to start. I went ahead and used Steve Cook. Both of them have 90-day plans. And that was kind of my routine. And, I added a couple things here and there as I felt better. One of the things that I did do through this process is obviously diet. Look, the diet's the biggest thing. Obviously this video is really dedicated on, that was pretty good. Yeah, during this, and I was saying, I think I was like month 3. Yeah, I ain't about the deadlifts anymore, you guys. But yeah, I wasn't really immersed into keto at this point. I was really just doing a caloric deficit. My macros, I think they were pretty balanced. And once again, like the first 2 months is where I lost a lot of the weight and that was really exciting. One of the things too, like this was a 6 month process. I really just took GNC multivitamins. No, I was not on those steroids. I don't even know how to take steroids. And I took some creatine. I mean, that was really it from it comes from the supplement standpoint. When it comes to the nutrition, I mean, lots of beef, bison, steak. I mean, I dabbled with pork, chicken. I just try to get my protein, obviously, protein shakes. But yeah, I mean, this was 6 months going to the gym. I went to LA Fitness. That's really the gym that I utilized. And then as far as, as I was, I remember those days. Those were some tough days. And, like this right here was, I didn't really get to enjoy the moments of this because I had a goal, and my goal was to get to that 165, below 10% body fat. And once I got there, I was just done and exhausted. And that's where the mental components of this really matter. Like really creating better habits. And I feel like I had some great habits here, but yeah, I don't think I was. That's probably the best I've looked. I'm not gonna lie, from a physique standpoint. Yeah, that's that right there. I mean, what did I say, 169? Yeah, I've been down to 164 recently, and I didn't look like this. And I think maybe it is the weightlifting. I remember this time period right here. I remember I had a target date. I wasn't doing a show or anything, just for myself. And I remember drinking so much water. And I mean, going to the gym, I was so exhausted. I did not feel good. And I think that's one of the things is like doing this in a 6 month time frame. I think my body just didn't have enough time to adapt. I definitely felt malnourished. But I mean, when it comes to, where my mindset was during this time period after, 6 months of just grinding, I just got too immersed into this is all I thought about through that 6 months, you guys. So, for me, it's now having to go through that process and, almost 6-7 years later, I feel like I've had a better balance across the board. This is the longest consistently I've been, below 200, in that 185 range. I'm glad a lot of that was due to, just me running every single day, which, I'll make some videos on that as well, where I essentially ran almost, a year straight, at least a 5K, which that's a whole different journey. But man, like just seeing, some of these clips of where, I've been able to kind of get to, and this is the fun one right here, is like, being aware of, man, I mean, I know for a lot of you that, that's trying to kickstart the journey, like, the big thing that I would say is like, you got to not worry too much about what people think. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things, especially if you're going to go to the gym, is at the end of the day, you're not doing it for anyone else. I mean, I remember this is the heaviest I was. I mean, I was wearing my small, medium shirt that I used to be able to fit in. I didn't really, at that point, I was like, my dedication was beyond what I felt like people were looking at. When they're looking at, dang, this boy's big. You guys got to remove that. Like, that's the biggest tip that I would give for you guys is, eliminating that if you're struggling with that. And, the last thing too is, well, not the last thing, I got a couple things I did want to say is for some of you guys is, getting to this right here and being able to, I think this is where I was at 28.3. Don't worry too much about the end goal. That's the thing. It's like, don't worry about getting your physique to that right side. I'm telling you, if you get so caught up on worrying about you're not getting to where you want to, you're not going to get there. It's genuinely about the process. And those that have played sports, those that have accomplished different things, you have to think about the things in your life. And if you haven't, we got to figure out how to pull that out. Like whether that's, you being able to progress in a certain athletic sport, progressing in your career, progressing as a partner, progressing in your family with, your siblings, your friends, those relationships. Pull whatever you can, like you making your bed, you cooking, you just your habits. Focus on that because that's where the changes are made. You can go 6 months and get so frustrated that you're not seeing any changes, and that's very discouraging, which can happen. This could be, a year process, a 2 year process, because you're gonna have to just shift some things. And everyone's body's a little bit different. Like, look, I played sports growing up, and I'm transparent about that. I wasn't overweight my entire life as a child. No, I was actually really skinny. I played basketball, I played football, I played baseball. I was just always active. I gained a lot of my weight when I got my first real job, in the corporate world, and I could not manage that. Like, I could not handle it mentally, and I started getting stressed out and frustrated, and then that bled into other things in my life. And then that bled into my relationship, and I lost that relationship, and I lost a lot of different things in my life, and that accumulated over a period of time, right? So like me getting to this weight, it wasn't because I was trying to bulk or, the correlation is really just, I did not feel good about myself, not so much physically, it's just everything else in my life, which led to me physically getting to this weight, right? So, I think when you guys are looking at that, making sure that you guys are being cognizant of like where your mindset is, and that's one of the things I've learned, throughout this period, and, even now as I'm trying to accomplish things. And, once again, making the main thing, like I said, like recently I qualified for Boston, and I made sure that my habits were consistent every single day around that process, and it worked out. So, once again, if you guys are thinking about, hey, like, obviously we're in May, but you're like, hey, I need to make this shift before the end of the year. There's definitely resources out there. Some of the things that I did use during this period of time was really, I made sure that I had a good diet plan. So for those that have been following me using loseit.com, there's probably different diet resources out there, but that's what I use. I still use it. Where you can go ahead and just track your macros. I'm big on writing things down. I'm big on inputting. If you're not going to do that, you're not serious about what you're trying to accomplish. Have a workout plan. One of the advice that I give now to people is making sure that if you're looking to get your physique to whether that's just being healthier or like how you look or getting ready for summer, you have to lose weight. Yes, you want to build muscle, but you can't just build muscle and just think the fat's just going to fall off, right? You have to do the cardio. I mean, I obviously, I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but my life journey, cardio has always worked for me, whether I'm trying to, build muscle, make my physique look a certain way. Obviously now it's different with running, but definitely you have to do some cardio. And I recommend it, whether it's Stairmaster, whether it's elliptical. For me, I'm big on the running and jogging. Like, you don't have to be fast. Like, making sure you're tracking it with a heart rate monitor. That's a really big thing as well. And just get to it, you guys. Just, tackle the gym. And people want to help. Like, that's one of the things too. So, if you guys have questions, please leave some comments, or you can reach out to me. I'm on Instagram. It's PK Nutri. You can leave a comment here. But yeah, you guys, that is, this is crazy watching, because this is like one of the first days and I was dying with these guests, and I was working so hard. Hey, it's crazy to see myself like that. It's crazy to see myself like that too. But yeah, you guys, I hope this was helpful. Once again, I'm trying to make as much content now moving forward. Obviously running, whatever you guys have questions on, like I do want to provide some tips for you guys, because I think that's one of the things. It's like, everyone wants to not be direct on their journey sometimes, and especially online. And I want to be transparent. Like, that's one of the things I do want to provide for those that do, have been following me for the longest period of time, and whatever that is, I'm willing to help. So that is it. This is PK. Definitely go ahead and subscribe if you haven't. If you just randomly popped into my video, I'm sorry that this isn't a initial transformation video, but I still think it's helpful. And once again, I haven't seen this in 7 years, but yeah, that's it, you guys. So definitely reach out, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.